So first impression specialist essentially is, we use that term. It goes back to some of the core values that we embedded at the academy, right? So everything, imagine that you're walking into a Jiu-Jitsu academy or a restaurant, right? Let's just take Jiu-Jitsu aside for a second. You walk into a restaurant, one of the very first things that you look at is the kitchen. Is it clean? How are the cooks presenting? Who's the chef? What are they doing? Do they clean the hands? Because that will determine what the final product will be, right? So in Jiu-Jitsu, what's happening on the mat oftentimes is the very first thing that they look, but that's not who welcomes them first. Is the first person that they interact with, is the first smile they see, is the first hello, first handshake, first bump. And that person right there is what we call a first impression specialist, is the person who will greet you, the person who will answer all your questions, the person who will show you what Jiu-Jitsu is, the person who will help you with whatever questions you might have. And then so it happens, if you like to continue that journey, then they will be the ones who will not only onboard you, but help you and just literally get you started with this whole thing. If you look at Jiu-Jitsu as a business, I think it's very simplistic, really. It's a service that's being provided. And if you keep it Jiu-Jitsu, strictly Jiu-Jitsu, that's even simpler. There's really not much to it. As long as the quality of the product is presentable and it's easy for people to understand, friendly and safe environment, that's simple. But that's only a small part of what's being sold as a service, right? A clean facility, that's one. Safe facility, on and off the mat, that's two. How is the person being greeted and helped? End of the day, Jiu-Jitsu is just the product that we are selling, but we are selling a service. And it's beyond the on the mat part. It's beyond the classes, beyond the exercise. It's beyond self-defense. It's beyond the competition. It's beyond that. So, some of the, in recent years, a lot of academies have adopted the business side of Jiu-Jitsu academies, and that's when you start seeing the huge growth of Jiu-Jitsu that we are literally is visible every single day today. If academies continue doing what used to be done 20, 30, 40 years ago, we would not see that explosion of interest. It's simply because the product wasn't sellable to the point that it is today. It was appealing, but today, it's not about fighting. It's about selling the product of Jiu-Jitsu, which, a lot of academies find a lot of success.